It will now be recorded.
This is the credential. This is the workflow, the application that you will be starting. All right. And I would like to start out by saying you are doing this on behalf of your recovery residents. So that's why we definitely look for your email address. If at any point you do need to change your email address, that would require something on my end. So I will ask that you email support@certemy.com, and that's support@certemy.com, and we are happy to change your email address for you. If you ever need to change your password, there on the login page, there is a reset password link, and it's easy steps in order to reset your password or change it or just get one in general. So right now, I am logged in as an administrator, but I'm logged in, I'm looking at a professional's profile, and this professional is Jane Smith. This is a test account. So you will be assigned to the certification application. There are 28 steps. And as you can see, there are these little white buttons within each step, and that just shows the status. So that will let you know whether you've completed that step, whether it's pending verification for any of the West Virginia administrators to approve or reject, or whether the step has been completed. So before we actually get into the crux of what you'll be looking at as the application, I wanted to just show you what this dashboard looks like. So you have your credentials. So anytime you have something assigned to you, it's going to show up here under my credentials. So for some of you, you might have more than one recovery residence, and that's great if you do. And in that case, you will have this initial certification application, and then you'll have maybe recovery residence 2, recovery residence 3, and so on and so forth. That is where you will always see what you're currently working on. You then have your digital wallet, and your digital wallet is, this is going to house anything that you upload to Certemy. So for example, in your application, if it asks for you to upload a policy or a procedure, or it asks you to upload an insurance document, after you upload it within your application, it will be stored in your digital wallet. So if you ever need to refer back to it, this is where you can go. Additionally, once you are approved for the certification, as soon as you are approved, you will find in your digital wallet your plaque, your certificate, and you will be able to at any time download it and print it out. But it's always going to be there for you to look at. Any questions so far? No? Okay. Another great feature that we have at Certemy is we have a user guide, and this user guide gives you 30-second videos on how to navigate through Certemy. So if you have a question, if you need to register, for example, for another house, you can click on this tutorial. If you want to, look at logging out, some people do have difficulty with that. You can definitely look at that. A basic navigation is always great. And if you find that you're not able to get the answer you're looking for by looking at this user guide, at that point, like Emily said, you're welcome to contact Certemy for anything technical, or definitely contact WVARR for anything content related. So what I also want to speak about, and I don't want to get too much into your application, but this is what's going to happen. So you're going to see that your application is your credentials here, and when you click on it, your application will pull up. You're going to see all of the steps that you need to complete in order to fill out your application. All of these steps must be completed in order for Emily and team to review and either approve or reject it. If it does get rejected for some reason, there is going to be a comment that you will see that tells you what needs to be corrected, and at that point you'll have the opportunity to correct it and resubmit it. Going back to these status bubbles, obviously you're seeing that if it's incomplete, it's going to stay as white. All right. And then when you complete a step, so let's say you submit a policy for review, these bubbles are going to turn green. And what that means is that they're pending verification. And if you are if you're just reading an attestation and then signing it afterwards, which is all on Certemy, what you will see is that it will not only turn green, but it will also have a white check mark, meaning that step's completely done and it's been automatically verified. So that is the basics of the process you're going to be going through with Certemy. When you do see a notification that'll say, so this will say pending verification when your application's complete, and each individual step has the opportunity to say pending verification. If it does say pending verification, at that time, that means that the step is currently being reviewed by the West Virginia ARR, and at that time it's on them to either approve or reject it, and if they reject it, to provide feedback. So at that time, there's nothing you need to do until you receive an answer either way. Once these 28 steps have been completed, you will automatically receive another step that'll be right below this. And that is going to be for your inspection and for your review, your peer review. You will just see a box that's going to show that it's pending verification. And at that point, Emily and team, they will coordinate that with you. So that is the basics of Certemy. A few technical things I would like to mention. If you are working if your job is with a medical or government facility, or you work for an educational institution, it's very possible that your IT department might be blocking Certemy, so it might be a firewall issue. So at that time, you will have difficulty logging in, and so my recommendation would be to try on your cell phone and disconnect from the Wi-Fi. If you're able to log in, then you know it's a Wi-Fi issue, and at that point, you either have the option to fill out this paperwork at a different location that doesn't have a secured, robust IT system, or you can speak to your IT department about whitelisting the site and opening up some ports, which on the Certemy side, we are happy to help you walk through if necessary. And the other thing I'd like to mention is, so Microsoft is actually, as of November 30th, they won't be supporting Internet Explorer anymore. So at this time, if you've noticed, if you do normally use Internet Explorer, you will see that you might be having a lot of trouble, or something's loading, or it's saying websites aren't available. So I will say that the Certemy website having to do with Internet Explorer at this time, it will just constantly show as loading. So at Certemy, we recommend you either use Microsoft's newest platform, which is Microsoft Edge. I personally like Google Chrome. You can use Firefox. It's really up to you, but do note that you will have difficulties with Internet Explorer. And then as November 30th rolls around, it just won't work, period. So if you do come across any of those types of issues, it definitely relates to your browser. So at this time, that is actually all that I have for Certemy as far as what you as the professional will be going through.